I'm with Father Francis Ching, who is from Hong Kong originally, but is working in ministry in Toronto in Canada. Father, you're very welcome to Ireland.
You're welcome too.
Have you ever been to Ireland before?
This is my first time.
Is it?
Yes, it's been wonderful so far.
What are your impressions?
It's very friendly. I really love meeting the people here. You know, they go all the way to help you. You know, and they're very genuine in their spirit, and it's wonderful.
Okay. So you were born in Hong Kong.
Yes.
And then your parents and you moved from Hong
to Toronto.
Kong
Yes.
to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
At what age did you move?
I was 13 when
13.
we all moved to Toronto.
Ah, I see. So what inspired you to become a priest or to think of priesthood?
It all started because people started talking to me. Like, I was invited by a religious sister, so have you thought about becoming a priest? And it was one after another. Like, most of them are strangers, just walk up to me. I saw you praying there. I saw you going to mass. You know, have you thought about being a priest? And I started being involved in youth group and all that, and giving talks and witnesses and testimonies. And people are, you know, they saw something in me that I didn't see. So it came to the point that I realized there must be something there, and I started looking into finding myself a spiritual director. And he really challenged me and pushed me, and he said, well, you need to, you know, discern and pray about it, but also need to make up your mind. So I started asking questions directly to the Lord, and it's like miracles after miracles. I asked for signs, and they were all answered, very timely.
Good, excellent.
So that basically convinced me, you know, the Lord really wanted me to try this. And I got nothing to lose, so I decided to try. And it was very, very, very fulfilling.
So tell me a little bit about the Catholic Church in Canada in general and Toronto in particular.
I can speak about Toronto. You know, I grew up there, you know, and it's very, very multicultural. And everywhere you go, you see the vibrancy is from the various people from their background. Like with a lot of Filipino Catholics in Toronto, like at the current congregation I'm at, half of the people are Filipinos. And then you got people from India who are very, very faithful. And of course, I grew up in the Chinese community, and Chinese community, they're very, very, very faithful too, you know. So you got all these different groups from Europe and South America there as well. So it's very colorful in Toronto. Of course, Toronto is also a very secular city in itself, too, in Canada at large. Yes. So there's a clash kind of in Toronto, I would say, but there are a lot of churches, a lot of people go into church in Toronto, but there's a struggle there in the government, in the secular arena. The culture in itself is very, very secularized, and it's a challenge to proclaim the faith and live your faith in the workplace, in the open public square.
Absolutely. Is there any difference in terms of religious practice between, say, French Canadians and elsewhere in Canada?
Can't really speak about a French Canadian.
Yes.
I'm not too exposed to them.
Familiar.
Yes, I don't want to speak what I really do not know very well.
That's fair enough. How do you see, or what do you see as the challenges for you as a priest in Canada in the future?
Well, personally, you know, as you see, I got a cane here. I'm legally blind.
Yes.
I have very little vision. I can't read. So that's a challenge in itself. But it's amazing, you know, even through that I evangelize, because I use a computer to help me to say Mass and prayer. So people that attracts people. They ask questions. Say, well, you're blind, you're Chinese, and you're a priest, you know. So that's kind of my ticket to get into the heart. You know? Yes. But the challenge, of course, at large, is to be able to bridge the gap of the secularized world. You know, a lot of people are angry with the faith, with the church, with what the teachings of the church is speaking, especially in areas of sexuality and morals. You know, they are really, you know, they are from that space that they don't understand the teachings. So that's a challenge there, and I think it's also an opportunity to show how joyful we are and how hopeful it is that the teachings really gives true meaning of freedom in the human soul. And I think a lot of people are longing for that. They're hungry for that. A lot of people go into spiritualism and all that kind of things, you know, and they're really looking for something. And I see a lot of hope in the young people. Young people, you know, they're open. They just need a new music for the same message. And if you speak to them, you invite them, and make the faith attractive in the language, you know, they are open to it.
Tell me, Father, you mentioned that you use a computer to
Yes.
assist you in saying Mass. Can you explain that? How does that
Well, a
work?
few years ago, like I was born with a glaucoma condition. And since I was in high school, I was already said to be legally blind. But up until, just a few years ago, I could still read. So I got through theology and all that with no problem. But I got this incident for my eyes, so I lost my reading ability. So I said, well, how am I going to see Mass? And I discovered that, well, my computer can read to me. So I got all the text from the computer. So I put on my Bluetooth in my ear. So I have my computer read to me all the prayers and the readings. I just repeat after them.
Ah, excellent.
And same thing with the breviary and all the other prayers.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That really is wonderful. For us as world priests, we use the internet and digital technology
Yes.
to try and get the message across. So it's wonderful in a way to see that it works the other way
Yes.
also.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
That it helps you.
And it's amazing, I find it, in some ways kind of theological too. I listen and I repeat. It's kind of like, well, that's our faith, right? We listen, we
Yes.
catch, we try to receive, and then we give what we can by adding our own personality and our own personal life into the message and personalize it. That's the gospel being lived out too, right? So I use that a lot in getting into the hearts, especially the young people. They're very interested in that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for talking to us, Father,
Yes.
and please enjoy the rest of the Congress.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. God
God
bless.
bless you.